here's something I've thought about with the whole AI thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you know it's AI, but it's still giving you a great experience, like a normal human would,
Yeah.
isn't that okay?
I feel so. I feel like it is.
I know that I have an app that I do PT for my hip with, and I probably have mentioned it before on the podcast. I know there is some automated responses coming back to me.
Well, you're even
It
getting
nudges me.
Even when it's a real person there, the vast majority of the responses are templates.
That's
like, what does
true.
it matter if
So copy and paste or Gen AI generated.
yeah. It's just, well, like when they're in, so I know this because we do this kind of stuff, but you'll say something and then they'll have three different selections based off of whatever their knowledge base flow, call flow looks like, or decision tree. And so that's true. But on the particular note of support and help and all that kind of stuff, though, like there's a line. So as a mobile help desk, like we provide support to end users, and then and so a bot can do 95% of it.
Yeah.
But then where's the point where it switches from the bot to the real human?
Yeah.
Like there's got to be some place, because if I think ethically it's inappropriate to lie and say that you're talking to a real person when it's Gen AI. And so if you type in, I want to talk to a real person, that could be a trigger to flip over to a real person.
Yep.
What are the other ones? Like if the person's seeming frustrated, like, because we can do that now. We can judge emotional state based off of AI. And then if they get agitated, then the real person comes in. Or maybe it initiates the, like, hey, give me your phone number and I'm going to call you and we're going to have a conversation rather than talking on this thing.
Yep. Yeah. There's I have seen a couple of demonstrations of the help desk type stuff where Gen AI gives it suggestions, but the human has to hit enter on their end, or they can add more stuff to it. And I thought that was definitely a good use of it today as they continue to test it out. So every time you can feel from this one company that if you're getting an answer, it might be Gen AI created, but somebody approved it, a human did.
You know what I think about that? I think that's stupid.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because the reason a company exists
Tell me what you really think.
is to make money. And the second a company decides that I'm going to do something less efficient, then they stop making money. And then somebody somewhere in the organization is going to pay. So we've talked in the past about hyper producers or hyper, that's hyper producers. That's what we called it. So right now, if an agent can handle 600 phone calls a month because they have to answer every single one of them, if we introduce AI as like that bottom level with no human touch, apart from just the training and the natural like maintenance people, not support people, then one agent can support way more people than they could otherwise. You could say one agent and their time with AI assistance that's built by the company could support 20 times more, 30 times more people, because the only people that you're talking to are that 5%. So we'll call it 20 times more, because you're talking to the 5% of the people that the AI can't deal with, but you're still managing as a human being that entire deployment.
Yeah.
And so that's a hyper producer from a business perspective that a company can create on their own. And so this whole mix and mash model where you introduce people in just kind of arbitrarily that mindset has to go, because you're not looking to necessarily get rid of jobs, but those people got to do different stuff now. Yeah. They've got to be in charge of the knowledge base, or they've got to be in charge of some business or some part of the business around the AI, because it's still going to take a fair amount of people to get them going. And in the beginning, it's going to look more like a swap, as opposed to down the road where you can scale from that point. We'll call it 20-fold without necessarily having to increase your infrastructure from a people perspective. And so talking about reflecting on 2023, nowhere in my mind did that exist 12 months ago.
Wow. You know what? I think you just gave one of the best examples I've heard of where things are going with AI. I mean, that was well said. Now think about this. If you can handle 20 times more, do the number of calls coming in go up by 20? 20 times? Or is it the same number of calls, which means you need less people?
It's the same number of interactions. Yeah. So you're not going to have... that's a good question because it helps build an understanding in a way that I wasn't really thinking about. And so the work is static, meaning that if you're an enterprise company that we do business with, you call us about 10% of your entire deployment every month. So if you've got 100,000 devices out there, you call us 10,000 times.
Okay.
And so what I'm
You're
saying,
doing support for devices, right?
for mobile devices, cell phones.
Yep.
Okay. Cell phones, IoT devices, like whatever. If it's got a mobile radio or a mobile OS, we support it. But of that 10,000 people who are calling in, 95% of it can be handled by bots because it's simple stuff. I need to enroll my device. How do I do that? And then a bot can tell them how to do that because it's just step 1, step 2, step 3. And it can be customized to give them their own company information. And so you're not getting rid of any work. You're just handling a lot more of it through AI. And then the one agent, and so it was a little bit of a misdirection before because it's not just the one agent that's supporting all of those people.
Sure.
It's the one agent and everybody climbing around the AI to make sure that it's giving the right information. And so it's a team of people still, but it's a much smaller team at scale.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you could think of other industries, and I know we're going off on something, but I think this is really important. A doctor, take 50% of what they do.
Are we in predictions already?
We're getting there. But that kind of stuff, and that literally is my real prediction. So, we'll save that for another episode.